you're going to get killed out there in debates if that's your argument. You are going to get killed because that is nowhere near significant enough to account for what we're seeing. You need to know the whole story, and the whole story includes, yes, the Federal Reserve System. And you have to learn that. Now's the time. If you've been putting it off, now's the time. So I am hoping to keep the book's momentum going, and you think you guys can help me out on that? Now, we're at a watershed in our country's history right now. Historians may look back on this time the way they look back at the New Deal or the Progressive Era or even the Civil War as a time that fundamentally changed the United States. This is what we're living through right now. We're not living through policies that are matters for genial debate. We are living through policies that could threaten the very survival of the Republic. So what we need, therefore, are not half measures. We don't need to rearrange deck chairs on the Titanic. We don't need conservatives to be arguing that the problem with the stimulus is that it's full of pork. The problem with the stimulus is it's based on blockhead economics. I wrote an article on this for the Campaign for Liberty not long ago, and it's linked from my website, tomwoods.com. It's called Tooth Fairy Economics. You might get a kick out of that. But I'm hearing, though, from some conservatives that, well, you know, if we had formulated the stimulus package, we would have spent more on this or that. Yeah, that's not the problem. The problem is the idea that you can just conjure up $800 billion, scrape it up somehow, print it out of thin air, borrow it from somebody, and this will make us wealthy. There are a lot of fallacies there. This is Keynes with a vengeance. But Keynes, any conservative is supposed to know, was a moron. So what we need is not a little tinkering around the edges. Oh, I wish we hadn't spent $35 million of the stimulus on this or that. Oh, come on. It's like Dick Morris. Dick Morris, this sort of political hack, who every 6 months he's got another one-word title book. And by the way, don't knock one-word title books. But he's always got this one-word title, you know, it's like fleeced, you know, or whatever. And you add up all the things he's upset about in the book, and it would add up to about $4.3 billion, not even a drop in the bucket. Who cares? And by the way, I attack Dick Morris not simply because he has a book called Meltdown coming out later this year. It's entirely a coincidence that I mentioned it. But what we need is full throttle opposition, and that is what the Campaign for Liberty is about. Now, the official, so-called, the official conservative movement, such as it is, has not been especially reliable as we've watched our republic be dismantled before our eyes. For example, the editor of the magazine that Bill Buckley founded in 1955 lectured anti-bailout Republicans in September 2008 that they were being, quote, extremely irresponsible. Well, my, they dared to speak out against the brilliant bipartisan consensus being rammed down our throats. How very irresponsible. We can't have that. We need nicey-nice conservatives who get along with the establishment, who are welcomed at the cocktail parties. We can't have these irresponsible... How can you possibly stand this and not go out and commit an atrocity? Or other conservatives speak of these bailouts that apparently are going to go on forever as if these are matters of genteel disagreement. So Bill Kristol said, when faced with... y'all know him? When faced with the $700 billion bailout that later became $800+ billion, he said, quote, "I have my doubts about this." Well, that's probably the boldest statement we've heard from Bill Kristol on this matter. He has his doubts. And these are the people who pose as the leaders of the conservative movement. No wonder it's in the toilet.